what do we do if we both have different expectations of a relationship? I got news for you. Everybody always has different expectations from a relationship. And it's just because you're two different people. It's not just when the one is vanilla and one is kinky. It's not just when somebody wants a 24/7 relationship and the other one is only interested in playing in the bedroom. There are so many different ways that you can experience your relationship, and it doesn't just have to do with kink or not. It has to do with everything. If you want kids or not, if you want to play with other people or not. What I think is that we were raised with a certain idea of how a relationship should look like. And the biggest example that you got is from your parents. Now, this could be a good example, it could be a bad example. I had quite a horrible example, I think. I mean, my parents, they weren't killing each other, but silencing somebody to death. And that's something that influences you. And as much as I'm influenced, you're influenced too. So I would like to show you a little bit about how you can make sure that your relationship is working, because I believe that you can make your relationship work no matter what kind of relationship you have. And you're responsible for that. You start with yourself first. Be really honest to yourself what you want out of a relationship. What I found out is that things differ with different partners because the relationship is different. And also, what I need now from a relationship might be different from what I need from a relationship in a year. As you know, probably my master has a girlfriend, and it was a struggle for me. Like, should I also have other people? My master prefers me not to. Is that fair? Does that work for me? And it took me about 2 years to come to that point that I was really able to sit and look inside myself what I wanted from a relationship. I use something for it. It's called a truth process, and I'm probably going to share with you more about that. For now, I'm going to leave it. And what happens is that it means that I'm really have to be honest with myself. The surprising thing that I found out when I finally managed to take the time and get really deep into it is that I found out I was totally okay with him having other women, not even just his girlfriend. If he would meet somebody else and have sex with somebody, I would be okay for that. For me, it's not a red line. And that was surprising. I didn't know that, but it does make sense. I was in open relationships always. For me, it's important to feel important to somebody. And that has nothing to do with what he has with other people. But what is important to me, because you're not just going to look at what you don't want, you're also going to look at what you do want. What is important to me is I want to have daily contact. I want to know daily, we're on a distance. And for me, this is important. I want to talk to you every day. It can just be a one-time message. That's fine. But I need this. This is for me important. I want to talk to you every day. And it means also that if you're with another woman, I still want to have that message. That is important for me. Not the fact that you are not with a woman. It's for me. It doesn't have to be for you. The other thing is that if he has sex with somebody else, I want to know. It's totally fine if I hear it later. And he did the thinking himself also. And for him, it was very important that he said, I really don't want you to have sex with other people. And it might sound weird for you, and I know that there are a lot of people that think that I'm crazy and why should I do it and why should I agree on it? And the point is, I agree for now, and that might change. Maybe at one point I will feel the need, because it's not so much about the sex. It's about playing with other people. For us, our DS dynamic, the way that we play, the way that he hurts me, is so intimate. He said, I would prefer if you don't do it. Now, I have a choice. There's 3 choices that I can do. One, I can agree with it. I can say, it's okay. I'm willing to do that for the relationship, because everything you do, everything you think of is this good for the relationship? Not just if this is good for you. It's about how can we make this relationship a success? And that might be different from the things that you want. I told him, listen, master, we're on a long distance. This is, by the way, this is a discussion that you do with your clothes on. So, I mean, we're still in the dynamic, but it's an equal discussion. Master, I know that you don't want me to play with other people. I have a BDSM channel. I'm educating people. I also would like to learn. It might be possible that I want to find out how to do proper whipping. I had a friend and she gave me a class in it, and she let me hit on a tree, which is really nice. And a tree is not giving me the response that I need if I'm doing it on a person. So this is just something that we negotiated on. He said, like, it's okay if you play, but then you need to be in a dominant role and not in a submissive role. So that's different. So he said, I'm not very happy if you're going to a party and you let somebody else like really torture you. That's for me. And I can understand that. And I can live with that also. I don't need this from anyone else but from him. Option 1 is yes. Option 2 is saying no. What I did is I said yes, but. I am willing to agree with it, but is it okay if I ask you if there is a possibility, or I want something that I can ask and that we can discuss it? And he was okay with that. It means he is still in charge, so it might be that he still says, I don't want it. And then it's my choice again what I do with it. This negotiation is not just about your kinks and what you're willing to do to each other or with each other or from each other. There are so many different types of it. It's one of the discussions that I have a lot lately, because people who want to explore kink and they say my partner doesn't really want to. This is the first step that I always recommend them to do, is go sit with yourself. What do you really need? What is it that you want from a relationship? There's a lot more, but I gave this example because I know this is a very clear, and it makes the difference very clear also, that what you want from a relationship and what your partner wants from a relationship is always different, and it's okay. And it doesn't mean that like what we have, I can be okay with him having other people in his life, but and I can at the same time be okay that he doesn't want me to have it. Because this is the next step. What you do is you tell each other, these are my hard limits. So this is what I want and this is what I don't want. You can just tell your wife, I want you to make steak for me once a week. The next step, what happens is you're going to sit together and you're going to look into these requirements, so to say. There are 2 options, right? You can say yes, you can say no. If you say, yes, I'm willing to agree on that I'm not going to explore kink, for instance, then you wholeheartedly commit to that. And that means you decide that it's not going to happen. And it also means that you're not going to complain that your partner is asking this for you, because you wholeheartedly consented to this. And this is where it goes wrong, and this is why so many people struggle. Because what they do is they say yes to their partner, but some way they find it unfair or not equal, or he's asking or she's asking something for me that I'm not willing to do. If that is true, then you need to be honest as well. And I know this is the hardest part. It means that if your partner says, I don't want you to explore kink, or whatever it is, I want you to bring flowers every week, and you're not willing to commit to that, you tell your partner you're not willing to commit to that. And you can try to negotiate if you can find a way. Look at what for you is important and see if you can find something in the middle that is good for the relationship. So let go that it has to be good for you. Just you're looking at this negotiation is about how can you make your relationship work. If your partner is not agreeing with you, that's his or her problem. But you were clear and you say, I need this, or I want this to be part of our relationship. If your partner says, I'm not going to agree with you, then you probably also know what is going to happen. Moreover, what you will see is if they see that it is this important for you, they will also start to negotiate with you. And there are only 2 ways. In the end, you find a way how you can make this work for you together, or you find out it's not going to work and you need something in the relationship that you're not going to get with this relationship. And then have the guts to get out. But what you don't do is you say you stay and you don't do it, but you don't agree with it. That's the whole thing. That's why it's so often it goes wrong. And it's so easy it's not easy to fix. It's simple. It's not easy. But this is how I think that you should handle a relationship where you both have different expectations. No matter if it's about kink or BDSM or flowers or food. I know another friend of mine, he started to live together with his girlfriend, and he just said, I'm not gonna clean the house, ever. And that's fine. And she said, that's fine, but you make sure you make enough money that we can afford a cleaner, because I'm not gonna clean the house either, and I'm also not gonna live in a dirty house. That's how they find it out. It's possible, and maybe for you it's very important that somebody does it, but because it's so clear and so honest, you know what you can expect. So take it with you and have fun and play with passion.